All right, it's time for the best games of the year, Mikey.
There's no point in making any other list than this one.
That's
man.
right.
This is the best games of the year. We're talking about them now.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick.
I'm Mike.
We are the Brothers Murph, and that's right. We're talking about our top 10 games that were released in 2025. A couple different caveats. One, we have not played every single game that came out of the year. So if it's not on the list, it's either because we didn't like it enough to be on the list, or maybe we haven't even played it.
That's very true.
It was a good year for games. I'm excited for the inevitable couple comments saying, no, you're wrong. This year sucked for games. No, it didn't. It was a good year for games.
Every year is a good year.
It was a good year for games. Yeah, it was a good year for games. Now, we are going to do a combined list. And very often people ask us why we do combined lists. That is because we have very similar tastes in games. And this year we actually experimented where we actually made two individual lists,
without
gave them to
consulting
Jimmy.
each other.
Yeah, with no consulting, gave them to Jimmy, and we have had 7 of the same games on there. So there's just no point in us doing 2 different lists. But
we used a point ranking system
to
create our list. But what we want to do is talk about our individual lists because there's some things you played that I haven't, and vice versa.
And there's differences of opinions.
And different tastes. So on Patreon, we're going to go through our top games of the year as they appear on our individual lists.
Our top 20, actually.
Yeah, and give a little bit more. So if you want to take a deeper dive with us on our individual tastes and the things we experienced this year, go ahead and become a patron, or if you're already a patron, go and check that video out. And in the meantime, we're going to talk about our agreed upon top 10 games of 2025.
Hey, everybody. Just want to ask, hey, everybody. Usually at this point, we do some kind of silly little sketch or something like that, ask people to subscribe. But we thought today we'll do just kind of like a normal, earnest-ish one where we ask you, please subscribe if you enjoy what we do. If you're new here, make sure to click that subscribe button. It really does truly, truly help a lot. It's why we all ask y'all to do it. And so if you like what we do, if you ever like what we're doing, if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. It would really, really mean a lot. We're trying to end the year strong with a good amount of subscribers on this video. So please hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching our stuff. And here's to a great year of games. Number 10, we actually played very, very recently.
Sure did.
And this is kind of our favorite, I would say it's our favorite kind of small box game of the year. And this is going to be Fliptoons.
Fliptoons, yeah. There's usually a game of this weight that makes it onto our list. It's a game that is, very playable with lots of different types of people. Fliptoons for us this year is that one. This is a game where you are trying to cast, a TV show, and you are with all these different animals, which are the different characters you can put into your show, and they're all going to provide a certain amount of fame. And what's going to happen is everyone's going to shuffle up their deck of cards and then flip over 6 cards in a 3x2 grid, activating any abilities of those animals as they come out, and then they're going to generate a certain amount of fame, which you will then use to hire better animals than your starting cards, or dismiss cards that you don't want to keep anymore. And this is all in service of creating a very synergistic pull of cards, which of course is random. So you're hoping to give yourself good odds at pulling a very valuable kind of tableau in front of you.
Exactly. And so after you're done buying it, so that you're going to take all the cards in your grid and the new cards you got and your previous deck, and then shuffle everything up. So every single round, you're shuffling your whole thing, and you're flipping out 6, sometimes more, depending on the cards you have, cards and generating fame. So again, as Mikey said, you're trying to get like synergistic stuff. There's like the lion, which is always giving you 3 fames, but it'll give you +4 fame if every other card adjacent to it is a lower rank than them, because everything has kind of a rank in it. So you're trying to, again, be like, oh, I have a lion. I want to make sure I have low rank cards, so I'm always getting max value out of this lion, if it even comes out. Because if you have more than 6 cards in your deck, it might not come out. There's things that allow you to stack on top of other cards so you can get more cards into your grid. It's really great. Eventually, once someone hits 30 fame in a single round, you will finish out that round, and then everyone will shuffle up their decks and do one last flip. And whoever has the most fame in that flip,
final flip,
wins the game. So it's not necessarily whoever triggered the end of the game. It's whoever has in that. So I will say, there's some luck in this game.
It's a hugely
but it's a
lucky
small, light game that you can teach to kind of anyone and play quickly. I love this game. This is the perfect kind of game to play like late in the evening with maybe some people who aren't into like super heavy games. You can play with family and stuff. It's got great art. I just love it.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's just like a high fun value. It does what it's meant to do. It's quick, so you don't feel burned by the luck, and you will build up a decent tableau by the end of it. You might not be a winning one, but you're not going to be where you started.
You're not going to end with like to fame. Like,
no.
yeah.
So like that's kind of cool. Like I feel like there's a general progression, and yeah, it's just kind of like one of those games that you can play anytime with anyone. And let me go by number of.
Yeah, it's number one, gotta be right.
Yep.
Yep, it's your number one played game of the year.
My number one played game of the year. This is Zenith, and I've played it 80 times as a result, as the time of this recording.
80 times, the power of BGA. And
I'm in 2 games of it right now.
Yeah,
so I got 81 and
loving some
82
Zenith.
lined up. I love this game.
I also love Zenith a lot. Mikey likes it slightly more than I do, but we both really, really enjoy it. But I also don't play BGA, or else I'd probably play it a lot more. But I actually just played it the other day because I showed it to Jimmy. And yeah, Zenith is a great you can play in teams, but mostly it's 2-player
1v1.
tug of war game.
Yeah, you are trying to basically get control of the influence over these planets. So you're going to be doing this by playing cards on your turn, and you can play them in one of 3 ways. One is to influence the planets and pull them in your direction. If you pull it off of your end of the, you're really selling that too. I'm really feeling the weight of that, of your opponent over there.
Hire me, Hollywood.
Do it, just like Fliptoons.
Yep.
If you pull a planet off on your side of the building, your player of your side of the board, the table, you get to collect that planet, and you can win one of 3 ways. If you have 3 of the same color planet, 4 different color planets, or 5 planets of any type in any combination will win you the game. So you can play cards down. They will always pull. They're always from one of the 5 planet types. So they'll go in a column and then make future cards you play of that color cheaper. And there's all sorts of effects that can happen. They can give you more money, get the special resource Zenithium, which you can use to go up these kind of tech tracks to trigger a bunch of effects. The reason I like this game is there's just so many fun little effects and little combos you can pull off. And so every game is slightly different in how you try to go about tugging these planets in your direction. There's certain ones that allow you to pull 2 of them that are adjacent to each other, and on and on and on. You can also, again, play cards for their suit. There's animals, robots, and humans to go up these tech tracks. And what's cool about that is there's 5 levels to each one with an escalating cost.
Yeah.
But if I'm, on the first level, I do whatever its effect is. If I come back to that track and I go to the second level, I do the new effect and I do the first level again. And then if I do the third, on and on. So it has this kind of cascading
it gets really powerful.
Effects and stuff. It becomes very powerful. So yeah, that's the reason I like this game is there's so many cards. You're always going to build a sort of different method for trying to win the game. I like that there's 3 different win conditions. So if you have 2 of the orange planet, I'm like, okay, well, I got to pay attention to that. I can't let you get that, because that would be an instant game over. So there's a lot of fun stuff like that to kind of create a fun heads-up experience.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And again, like Mikey said, it's all about the card play and the bevy of abilities. There's a really good play area that kind of shows you all of the different ones. Like you said, there's ones where it's like, oh, you get money. One, you get Zenithium, which is how you bump up those tech tracks. There's ones that just allow you to draw more cards and put them into your tableau.
Or transfer cards from your opponent's side to your
you can
side.
make them discard cards, or you can take cards from them and put them over here. And so it's like, and it's just this constant tug of war, and I like that. Oh, Mike's going to get that teal. Screw it. I'll let him have it. I need to be working on this. Be like, oh, no, Mike now has 2 teals. I need to make sure he does not get this 3rd one. And Mike's going for that, but he's kind of bluffing because he's actually trying to get 4 different ones over here. It's really, really fun. There's tons and tons of cards. It's got really great art. It's kind of like simple art, but very colorful and kind of striking.
Kind of very
the little
cartoony.
pieces are the rewood pieces that like CGE uses. And so, because you can license that from CGE. So it's got like really nice components and stuff
really
like
nice
that.
components, but more eco-friendly.
Yeah, it's just really, really good. If you like kind of tug of war games, but want one like simpler and easier than like a big one like Watergate or something like that, Zenith is very, very good. And Jeff, if you're watching, you're wrong. You know what? Thunderworks has had a good year
had a really
for
solid
games not in their normal universe.
Yeah, their normal universe is like the role-player universe.
Role-player, lockup, those
Yeah.
kind of things. This is going to be Citizens of the Spark, which is another Thunderworks games. Fliptoons, if you didn't know, was also Thunderworks games, which is also games that are not set in their universe.
Yeah.
But 2 bangers.
Yeah, so this one is...
No one's talking about this one. Is it just me?
No, I mean, we don't
Maybe it's
talk
not.
to
Maybe
everyone,
other
but
content creators or people out there are talking about it. I feel like I hear
I feel that no one's talking about
people
this
talking
one.
about it, and this game is so good.
Yeah, maybe we're wrong, but we haven't heard many people
I'm
talk
never
about
wrong.
it. So Citizens of the Spark is a game where you're going to have a number of different animals, like an animal world, a number of different animal types that are all going to have a certain effect, and you're going to kind of create this big draw deck of certain animal types, and that will change from game to game. And you are going to be then putting out kind of a grid of cards in the middle that are
Yep.
going to be different kind of depots for you to draft cards
Yep.
from.
Yeah.
And on your turn, you're going to pick one of the depots. You're going to collect all those cards. There might be like little sparks on them, which are points and stuff. You'll collect any of those.
Yep.
And then you're going to put them out in your tableau in front of you, and then choose a card type to activate.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead from there. But
Yeah, so basically you put it on your tablet and then you can choose, you don't have to, you can choose one of these kind of cards to activate because you'll stack them all together. So if you have like the farmers, you'll stack all your farmers together, your scouts together, all that kind of stuff. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna activate my farmers. And then basically every single card is, for the most part, gonna do something when you activate. There's a couple that don't activate, they're kind of just defensive cards, but most of them activate. And almost all of them, if not all of them, are basically the activation they have is going to be stronger depending on how many cards you have in
how
that
many
stack.
copies of that card.
Usually up to 3. So basically, once you have 3 like farmers in there, you're going to get more spark, which is points in the game, than if you had only 1 or 2 in there when you activate them.
Right.
So I would activate my farmer, which will give you a certain amount of spark depending on how many of these like little kind of leaf symbols you have, because they're farmers
food
in the rest of
icons.
your tableau. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is then going around the table, anyone else who has a farmer can then activate their farmer as well. And then after everyone has activated who wants to, if you activate, you then have to lose one of those cards. So you're trying to get to like 3 strength to get the max, but then you will have to lose one of those cards.
Yeah.
There are these kind of orange cards, which are mean cards, which are going to be doing stuff to other people. They're like purple defensive cards, or some cards that have like end game scoring. But most of them you're going to be activating in the game to gain yourself spark and stuff like that. But the thing is you play with a certain amount of these characters depending on the player count.
Yeah.
But it's usually around 8 to 10 of them, and there's like 10 cards of each in each kind of like animal type. But the thing is there's like 35 cards in the deck, because there's like some promos. I think it goes up like 33 or 35. And you can just, there's in the back of the rulebook, there's suggested ways to play. Like, hey, you want a really interactive, like mean game? Choose these 10. Oh, you want like a not really interactive at all game? Choose these. You want like a simple game? Choose this, da da da. Or there's a randomizer card for every single animal in the game. You can just shuffle it up, grab
like the
10.
way to probably play.
It's really fun. The thing about this game recently, and this is kind of what pushed it up even higher for me recently, is I've played this game a couple times, but I've only ever played the suggested starter one because we were always like showing new people, playing a new game. So we're like, oh, let's just start with the new one. So I did that recently. We were playing with our buddies Charlie and Keith, and we played the kind of starter game. And then after that, we wanted to play again. So it was just like, I was like, you know what, let's just randomize it. So I did. I just grabbed like 10 random cards, and the game was wildly different.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's like an executioner card that like when you play it, you like kill other people's cards and stuff. It was just like wild. And so the thing is, there's so much variety in this game because the makeup of cards and how they kind of work off each other and synergize off each other is going to really, really change up the game. And the fact that there's like 30 and you only ever play with like 8 to 10 to 12 depending on the player count. And the art's really, really good. I don't know. I just can't speak highly enough about this game. I love it so much. And like, I just feel like no one's talking about it. I feel like it went completely under the radar. It was like a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter funded, so like it did fine. But I don't know. I feel like this is such a good game that's like pretty easy to get into.
Yeah.
Has so much variety.
Cool art. Like
great art.
Really kind of almost watercolor.
And I don't know. I just feel like it's going under the radar. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like that was for me.
It shouldn't be.
But I like it. Was this our most anticipated game ever, you think?
It was up there, man. It was really up there. This is going to be Lord of the Rings,
Fate
of the Fellowship, a pandemic system game.
Yeah, it goes to show it's been a really good year considering this is as low as it is. And some of this might be, there's always a little bit of recency bias and stuff like that. Sure. But man, Fate of the Fellowship is so dang good.
It's really fun. So this is a game that's based on Pandemic. So it's a cooperative game, and you are the Free Peoples. We're going to be playing as 2 characters. And moving around and using their abilities and stuff. And we're in Middle Earth and trying to complete certain missions along the way to destroying the One Ring. And of course, Sauron, which is the game itself, is going to be mustering troops, moving on these sort of printed pathways. Trying to interfere, take over. There's Nazgul searching for Frodo in the ring.
Right, they do.
And you're trying to complete your goals before you fall to despair. Before you run out of hope.
Run out of hope. It's a bummer when that happens.
Yeah. So for us, Pandemic was our gateway into this hobby.
Yeah. I'm wearing a Lord of the Rings shirt.
You're wearing Lord of the Rings shirt. I'm wearing green, which is like the Elven cloak. So we're both
basically the exact same thing. Yeah.
So Pandemic was the game that got us into the hobby.
It is.
That kind of cooperative, epic, save the world experience was really cool. We grew up and are still big Lord of the Rings nerds, so this is like a perfect marriage coming together. You're like, oh, we're gonna save Middle Earth? Like, yeah, that's a great goal.
Yeah. It's my 2 favorite things: board games and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so we've really enjoyed this one. I feel like the Pandemic system of games has like really evolved in cool ways over the years with the different versions they've done. And one thing that's cool about this version versus original Pandemic, where you're collecting cards to be able to turn in, you know, more of a set collection thing, turn in 5 of the same color to cure a disease. Here, the cards that you're getting are going to be used throughout the game for their icons.
They're just like tools.
They're kind of tools.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes you want to save certain, you know, some of them up, you know, the search, the kind of sneak symbols in particular to get Frodo where he's going safely. But like these are tools you're going to be playing, so it feels more active in that way. Where I'm playing these cards, it's not just the event cards that are being played that way. There are also those.
But it's just really variable because like you always have to destroy the one ring, but you have a certain amount of missions you have to do. Yeah. One of which is always destroy the ring, but the other 3. There's like 30 of them in the game, and it's cool, especially if you know like the books and stuff like that. There's like one where like Aragorn has to go to the Stone of Eric to get like the undead army and stuff like that when they go to Pelagri or stuff like that. So it's like that's one that's like so in that situation you have to play with Aragorn and Aragorn has to go over here to do this thing. You're like, oh, that makes sense. It's cool. And those massively change up how you're playing the game. It changes up who maybe you want to play with. And then of course you have to destroy the ring.
And there's also a ton of characters, as there are in the books and stuff, but you won't be playing with all of them in any one game. So it feels very like a lot of variety in a very familiar world. Yes. And the kind of cooperative experience from Pandemic that we know and love.
It's so good. Oh my God.
It's really, really fun. I really like it. It's
so
a
good.
well done production. There's like a cool dice tower.
That's like Barad-dûr.
When you're rolling searches in Barad-dûr and stuff, there's these cool Nazgul minis on standees, so they're flying around. It's just really, really fun.
Really fun.
I was happy because I was like, when it got announced, I was like, out of my mind excited.
Well, because you didn't get a chance to play it. I just need to play it, but like you're talking about the Pandemic system games have been really interesting lately. But it's like the World of Warcraft one was cool, but like the Star Wars Clone Wars one is really fun. And then now this one's incredible. So I'm like, I'm really interested to see like, because it was always kind of like Pandemic Iberia, which is still very Pandemic. It's like now they're getting more, it's still kind of the same base.
They're playing around with
it, and it's been really fun to see what they do. And so I hope Matt Leacock and Z-Man continues this trend because it's been really good. But Faith Fellowship is just unreasonably good. So here's the thing. At the end of the year, we always spend a couple weeks, it's been the last couple weeks, basically trying to play as many 2025 or 2024 or whatever games we possibly can. Because sometimes there's a game that we're like, I think I'm going to like this one. And we're like, we need to see if it's going to be on the list. And Covenant, it was that one for us.
Yeah, we both got a chance to play this in the last couple months. And
it's so much fun.
Yeah, this was one that was also like highly anticipated because they released a cover for Covenant a while back. I remember showing up in the hotness. It looked cool and stuff. And then we didn't really hear anything about it. And then it showed up on the hotness again, but it had new art.
Yeah, I think people didn't really like the cover.
And and I think Devere had kind of reworked some of that stuff. And now the game is out, and so we were able to try it. And it's super duper fun. This is a game where you are different dwarven clans, and you are digging out a mountain to gain resources like mithril and iron and stuff like that. There are, as you're kind of exploring this mountain, you might be revealing monsters. You probably will be revealing monsters.
Assuredly, yeah.
So you can go and fight monsters. You can build buildings out onto the map for various scoring purposes. And then there's also some kind of additional types of scorings and stuff you can unlock through kind of forge abilities and give yourself flexibility of actions. Now this game, which we've seen a trend of recently, and we'll talk about this trend again later this list, of a thing where it's like you only have a certain amount of turns. Like in this game, you're going to have 12 turns. You have these dwarves that are all level 1 to begin. They're pretty weak. But you're going to have the ability to upgrade them to level 2, 3, and 4, which are going to give you basically more action points to use when you take an action. And then there's also all sorts of like little things you can do to modify, to rev up the engine of what you're building to get more out of each of those individual actions you take. So it's like, I'm only getting 12 turns. But I'm getting more than 12 turns worth of stuff done because of the way that you kind of build your engine. And that's something that I think you and I have really enjoyed in the
Yeah,
last
you're
couple
trying
of
to
years.
squeeze out as much as you possibly
Yeah,
can.
it's a really fun thing to try to do. And this game gives you like a million little things you can do to create like a really kind of juicy, fun engine to then kind of maximize your game.
Yeah, it's really good, and I've played this game a couple times now, and like both the times that I've played it, I've played very different games, and the people I was playing against were always playing very different games than what I was playing.
Yeah.
And it was always really competitive. So it's like you can just go in a bunch of different ways because you only have 12 turns, and because there is that kind of chaining together and comboing actions, but there's a limit to that, so you can't really do everything. So you kind of have to choose. Like the main thing you want to do is like try and strengthen your dwarves because that allows you to do more and more and more. But on your actions, which are like tools, one's like a pickaxe, that's like the dig action, you can put inlays on them, which is like jewels that you're putting on it because dwarves like to bling out their stuff. And that inlay might allow you to immediately kill an enemy when you do that action. Even if it's not the fighting action. It's like, oh, I just get to kill an orc when I do this. Okay, cool. So that means maybe I want to start getting some more fighting stuff going on. It's like there's so many different ways you can mess with this system to just play it out in a different way. It's got like really, really great components, really great art. I love dwarves. Mike loves dwarves. We just love them as like just like a fantasy race.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I love the upgrading of your actions, choosing what new actions you want to forge for yourself to give you more of that flexibility. How can you squeeze as much as you possibly can? There's like 3 tracks in the game that you're trying to bump up, but again, you're not really gonna be able to do all of them a ton, most likely. So it's like, it's just that efficiency puzzle of like, how do I get as much as humanly possible out of these 12 turns? There's like goals that will happen at the end of every era, which is every 4 turns. You can go for those and stuff. It's really, really, really good.
Yeah, there's just a ton of stuff to do, and I can't wait to like keep trying different combinations of like actions and engine builds and stuff, and I feel like there's a lot to explore as you dig that mountain.
Ting, ting, ting. So this one's kind of interesting because, again, over on our Patreon, you'll have our kind of true list where I put stuff, where Mike put stuff, because we actually kind of put this, it was in both of our top 10s, but it was kind of on opposite ends. So right now, it's in the middle, and this is Galactic Cruise.
Galactic Cruise number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there in the middle. Really fun game. We're
Love this
fans
game.
of LOTR games and stuff, and things like Kanban EV and stuff. And Galactic Cruise is a game
Very much inspired by
very
those
much
games.
inspired by those games, and even has Tool art. So really, even has the look of a
They know
of
what
a
they're doing.
LOTR.
Yeah.
This is a game where you are working for a company that puts on these galactic cruises out into space to visit planets far away and stuff like that. And you are taking actions to basically prepare, build these ships, advertise to guests, and get them on their cruise to be able to kind of generate points and become, I guess, the head of the company, or at least middle management. Reach middle
at
management.
least middle management.
And so this is a game where, it's a big kind of resource management game, getting stuff prepped, trying to maximize your resources and your action economy to again, kind of go for certain goals and stuff. There's a lot of things you can do to score points in this game. In-game, at the end of the game.
There's so much.
The types of ship segments you build. Each ship that you have will have a kind of scoring condition that will trigger every time it launches. And it'll be for a whole wide range of different things that you might be doing in the game. So you want to try to like build the ships that are going to be, closer aligned with the stuff you've been doing. There's company goals that you're trying to race for. You are, you're kind of
There's so much.
going out to different planets and sort of upgrading the value of those planets.
Which
when
also
you
unlocks like
advertise to
special
guests,
powers for you. It's
game-breaking
like,
rules, and on and on and on. This is one that we really enjoy because it's a generous game. It's a game that, it's a big old Euro game, no doubt about it. But I feel like there's certain things that are a little easier to acquire than other games of its kind of weight level might sometimes be. I feel like it's a little easier to get resources sometimes, or to get ads together and do these things that you need to kind of fuel the actions you take. And I appreciate that because there's plenty to think about. Definitely don't need
it's got a little bit of everything. It's got, worker placement. There's like worker bumping where you can bump people out. And that's a good thing for them. It's like There's resource management. You're getting these ship parts. There's so much stuff you can do, and how you choose to do that is, again, kind of up to you and how you want to do it. You can have one big ship that you just kind of launch over and over and over again. You have a bunch of ships. Try and do that. Though I will say, if you get a ship and you launch it, you will lose points for that, which is not good. So you can't just acquire ships for no reason. It's very, very good. It's really, really fun. We recently played. We've done a playthrough for it, and we recently did. Got to play with a couple of the expansions, which I really, really enjoyed.
Really like the expansion
Kind of jumpstart you a little bit, just change stuff up a little bit. I really enjoyed the expansions. I'm curious what the next expansion is bringing as well with the achievements, where you're kind of unlocking stuff as you go. Yeah, this game is great. If you like big, crazy Euros, this is a big, crazy Euro. Great art, great production, and just an all-around banger. Don't tell me theme doesn't matter.
Oh, baby.
If you're one of those theme doesn't matter people, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
I would have bought this game off of cover alone.
Absolutely. And name, it's called Moon Colony Bloodbath, and it lives up to its name.
It's called Moon Colony Bloodbath. Try and think of a crazier name. You can't.
It's amazing. It's got like a sentient KitchenAid on the cover. How good.
It's so good.
This is
it's such a good game.
In a very kind of campy, retro
very
sci-fi
pulpy,
world where we live on the moon. And we're building buildings and stuff and thriving, at least to start the game. And we have a ton of population. And you are trying to maintain your population as best you can for as long as you can, as the game continually finds ways to kick you in the nards and make life
just kill you.
difficult.
Kill you and your people.
Kill you and your people.
Yeah.
So basically, various things are going to start coming up that are going to start wiping out your population. There's going to be robots that come out that are maybe going to do something cool for you, but they're definitely always going to kill some amount of people.
Yep.
You have different events that are causing accidents to happen, and on and on and on. And the things that I really like about this game is you're going through this. There's a central deck of like events and different things happening. And you're going to flip over a card, and then everyone is, for the most part, going to be affected by whatever's on that card. And there's 4 points in that deck of cards where you're going to be able to take an action. It's all kind of simultaneous play, and this is going to allow you to gain some resources, build a new building cards and stuff, which is going to be essential, get some money and stuff. But what's really cool is a lot of the building cards you build are going to have bonus actions that happen when you take a certain action type. So the mining action to get money, for example, it's always going to give you 4 money. That's great. But if I have 3 buildings that have the mine action, I'll get to trigger all of those as well when I do the mining, its associated action. So there's a great sense of engine building in this game, and you can get an engine up and running pretty quick and easy, which is going to be essential because that engine's going to get torn all to hell.
It sure as hell is.
It's going to get ripped apart.
You're always like, I feel like I'm going to be fine.
You're not.
You are not going to be fine.
Not going to be fine. But that's like kind of the fun of it is that you're going to be losing this engine, but each building you build has a population value. So it's more people that live there. So the more buildings you can build, the more people you have, and you want to have people, because if you ever lose all your people, you out.
Yeah.
It's just really fun. Like the theme carries so much, and it's a fun
engine.
Engine building game as well.
And again, it's why theme and art and all those things matter, because it's like the theme of this one is so silly that even though your stuff's getting ripped apart, you just can't help but start laughing because of how it's like, oh, this robot does this thing. Also, it kills 7 people because it's just a rogue robot, and all the robots are rogue, and like all the art is very like pulpy, like And so when all this horrible stuff happens, everyone's just like, it's just very, very funny. But I think the main take away the art, take away the theme of it. The reason why I feel like this game works, where at least for me and for Mike as well, a game like Empire's End really did not work. It was one of my least favorite games I've ever played. I love you, John DeClaire, so much, but just absolutely disliked that game so much. And the reason is because the first half of the game, a couple bad things are happening, but you're able to do stuff. You're able to get your engine up going. Yeah, you're able to get your engine going and work it for a little while. You're like, oh, it's working. And around halfway through the game, actually not even, maybe like 3/4 of the way through the game, it just starts tanking hard. But you've had time to play with that engine. You've had time to build that engine, where I feel like a lot of other games where it's like, oh, this is a game where bad stuff is happening to you constantly. They just start out kicking you in the teeth. And this one honestly doesn't.
Yeah.
It starts off with a little jab here and there, but for the most part, you're able to build your engine, you're able to work your engine, you're able to do stuff, and then you start getting kicked in the teeth. But at that point, it's just fine because you're like, well, you knew it was going to happen, and at least I got to build this engine, and that part of the game is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like other games, it's just like, here's your empire. Oh, by the way, it's just burning to the ground right now. And it's like in
feels
this one,
inevitable, and there's like not really any way to.
yeah, and you have a lot of agency in this one where it's like, oh, you ran out of population tokens. That means you now have to discard a building, which again has population. But you get to choose what you discard. And not to mention, a lot of the cards give you something when they get discarded.
A lot of them have a really cool ability that happens when they get blown up. So you're like, well, that's actually
you're like,
really
whatever.
great.
And so you pay with that card, and any excess population comes back as tokens. And so it's just like, I don't know, it just feels so much better than a lot of these other kind of games where you're just getting kicked right in the stomach over and over and over again. It's just fun and campy, and I absolutely adore this game.
Yeah, the last thing we'll say about this one that I think really helps with this is that it's almost entirely simultaneous play.
Yes.
So the time of game is like 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go on and on and on and
it's
on,
quick.
and you lose all your people. You get to enjoy 45 minutes of like peace and prosperity, 15 minutes of chaos, death, and doom, and then you're out. And it's very, that kind of
if
arc,
even that,
the cadence of that is really, really fun and dynamic each time. And everyone, you can't help but kind of giggle at like how horrible things are going at the end. And like, you know, once one person gets wiped out, the game ends, whoever has the most population wins. But it's always like, I have 5 and I won, you know? And it's like, that's awesome. It's just a great, fantastic execution of theme and mechanisms, and that really makes the whole thing go.
So now we're going to talk about the other game that Mike kind of alluded to with like, the whole point is in this game you have 11 turns, and you're just trying to do as much as you possibly can. This is going to be Speakeasy.
Speakeasy, a Vitalis Sarah game.
True Vitalis Sarah, unlike Galactic Cruise, which is a fake.
It's a phony. This is a game where we are in the roaring 20s, deep in the Prohibition era.
I played this game the other night.
We did, and of course, we're not letting the Prohibition era get us down. We're out here running hooch, buying liquor, selling it around to our different speakeasies, nightclubs, and casinos.
Avoiding
out on
the fuzz,
board,
you know?
Avoiding the cops, avoiding rival mobsters trying to push their way into the city as we kind of try to dominate Manhattan. So this is a game, you have 11 turns, which is a worker placement aspect to the game. You're going to go over to one of the locations on the board, take the various actions. There usually be 2 or 3 things you do on a turn, and you're going to, through that, build buildings out onto the board, protect those buildings with your family members, maybe buy rum and deliver, whiskey and whatever various forms of alcohol to your different locations. Sell that for money, which are your points in the game. You're both spending and gaining money, and you need to hopefully gain more than you spend. You're not going to do very well. You could rob the boats that are going around the island, on and on and on, all bunch of stuff with really cool kind of card play, as well as you sort of just try again to extract as many things as you can out of ultimately 11.
11 turns.
Big turns, but 11 turns.
Yeah, because there's kind of like 4. There's a lot of stuff you can do in the game. But there's basically 4 main actions that kind of run the whole system. That's going to be making hooch, making alcohol, delivering that alcohol, moving it around the board with your trucks to your various buildings, selling that alcohol for money, and then protecting those buildings, because if there's a police officer in that district with your buildings and your building isn't protected by a family member, that building doesn't exist. You can't sell hooch, you can't produce hooch, it won't score you any money at the end of the game, it doesn't exist. So those are kind of the 4 main actions. There are 4 different colors of cards, and each one of those cards, like the green card is the movement card. Whenever you play a green card, you'll always get to do the movement action. So you can do, like say, the movement action through the cards, but you can also do it in a bunch of other different ways. One of the spots on the worker placement part of the board also allows you to do a movement, or it allows you to play a green card, which will allow you to do a movement. There are these city tokens you can get, and those city tokens, you can go to a different spot to use those city tokens, and those might allow you to play a green card or do the movement action. You can get these helper cards, and that might allow you to do a movement action. So there's these kind of main actions, along with other things like building and like rum running and stealing from the boats, all these kind of things. But those 4 main actions and kind of everything else even, you can do in all of these different ways.
Yeah.
And so how you decide to do that and how you try to maximize your efficiency puzzle is really up to you, and is also going to change from game to game to game, because from game to game, you know, the mobsters are always going to be coming into town. The police are going to be showing up in these different districts, but which districts they show up when is going to be different every single game.
Yeah, which areas kind of start off as hot spots versus
which
safe
not.
to kind of build. They're going to be wildly
It's
different.
going to be wildly different, and every single time I've played this game, I've played very, very differently, and again, the opponents have also played very, very differently. Mike and I played the other night, and like I built my stills, which is where you make your alcohol, and I was like churning out alcohol in there. I had a lot of movement. I was moving around to my various buildings, selling it. Mike never once built his stills.
Yeah.
Mike never once made a lick of alcohol. He just kept buying it from boats or stealing it from boats, and Mike ended up winning.
Did a mix of both?
So it's one of those things, like you can play this game in totally different ways, and that efficiency, you're gonna have a couple turns that are just like bonkers big and fun.
Awesome.
And then just, I mean, in terms of theme and art, integration, it's maybe the best of all time.
For our money,
It's
you know,
just
Tool is the best in the
insane.
game in terms of artists for board games.
And this is his best work.
This is his best work. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. It's so jazzy, so in the 20 mobstery, like all those kind of motifs and things you expect from that era.
Yeah.
And the movies we've seen and stuff like that. It just feels just really vibrant. The art is so awesome.
It's
and
so
the
good.
production, of course, Eagle Griffin doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
Is awesome, and it's just really, really fun to
Yeah.
do. So yeah, this is honestly up there. People have asked already with Speakeasy, like where's it ranked in the all-time Lacerdas and stuff, and I'd probably put it number one right now, above all the others. So
Yeah.
that's how much we enjoy it, and it's number 3 on our list.
This game, at least for me, was my number 1 game of the year for most of the year. And
Yeah.
the fact that it's still sitting here at number 2 is really, really good. This is going to be Unstoppable, which is a solo game, actually.
Solo or 2-player
Can't play a
co-op.
2-player. It's technically in the solo series.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's better as a 2-player game.
I know, I still
personally.
haven't played a 2-player.
Oh,
I've
it's
played
really
it
fun,
solo
yeah.
and stuff, and it's awesome. This is from John D. Clare, and
John
he
D.
uses his kind of card crafting system where you're going to have these sleeved cards, and you're going to be adding upgrades and things to them. But what's really fun about this one is that every card you start the game with and gain, on one side is going to have, you know, your kind of hero card, you know, whatever thing you're using to attack the baddies and stuff. The back side of every card is going to be those baddies that you have to fight. So that kind of is cool in a couple ways. Number one, it's kind of a deck building game, but you're not getting like, I get 5 cards per turn, and then I discard those and I get 5 new cards. Every round, you're going to have a certain amount of bad guys out in front of you.
Yep.
And you're going to use the cards in your hand to fight those bad guys. Anytime you defeat somebody, you collect that card and flip it over into your hand, and now it's one of your good cards. And that's how you actually get cards into your hand. You'll
the only way
gain
you get cards, really.
1 new card per round.
Yep.
But you need to actually do those to get your card draws. And so it just creates a really interesting kind of rhythm with, okay, what am I going to use, and how am I going to do this to be able to get as many of these cards in my hand to kind of keep playing,
going, yeah.
as you go. And then you can also upgrade and kind of modify cards to make them stronger, but it comes at a cost.
It does come at a cost, because on the other side is enemies. And when you upgrade your cards, it gives you like more attack, or allows you to
Get more money or
get more
something.
actions or money or whatever. Almost always, I think always, but maybe there's a couple that don't, it is also going to upgrade the enemy on the other side.
Yeah.
So it kind of solves the problem that a lot of these kind of card crafting games have, where you'll have like 1 or 2 cards or a couple cards that are just so good, and the rest of your deck is kind of like, eh. And this solves that, because as you make these really cool cards, you are then going to make the other side of the card significantly worse. And so there's this, it's kind of this self-balancing system, because you will eventually reform your deck, and it's coming back as an enemy. And so it's one of those things where it's like, it really, really balances out well. And one thing that's cool about the game is there's no hidden information. So like when you buy one of these upgrades, you know what the enemy is going to get. It will tell you on there what the enemy is going to get, so it's not like it's a big surprise. So you're like, okay, this is good for me, but oh man, that means the enemy on the other side of this is getting 2 extra damage. I think that's worth it. I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
When the enemies are out in your battlefield, you can see like your card is a little bit bigger than the enemy cards, and the reason is because at the very top of the card there's a little tab that tells you what's on the other side of the card.
Yeah.
So you know what card that's yours. And you can even at one point just look up and look at it. There's no like, you don't get to know. You just have to kill the enemy and hope it's a good card. Sometimes you're like, oh no, I need to focus on this enemy.
I need to get that card.
Because I need to get this card, because then I can play this card and kill 2 more things, which will give me these cards. So it's like, it's a good solo game in the sense where it's like, you can really plan things out. You have almost completely perfect information about what you're doing. So you're really trying to do it well. You're going up against a boss every single game. You're basically trying to get through to that boss, defeat the boss. There's a couple of them in the game. There's like 4 different like starting heroes. There's a whole bunch of different cards. It's just fascinating. I'm infinitely fascinated by this game.
Agreed.
It's a great solo game, but it's also a really, really good 2-player game, because the 2-player game is basically 99% the solo game with one difference. And the difference is Mike and I are each playing our game. Normally, I'm fighting my stuff, he's fighting her stuff. We can't really interact, but the main difference is that you can attack stuff in the other person's area. Because one thing that can happen in this game sometimes is just you get a bad draw, which happens in any card game, right? You get a bad draw and you can just get walloped pretty quickly. So in 2 players, it's nice because you have a little bit of a safety net, because the other person is like, oh, do you have extra attack? Can you please kill this thing? Because it's going to hit me for a ton right now. And then when Mike kills that thing, I still get my own card. It's not like you're taking cards from each other. So it just gives you a little bit of cooperation, a little bit of a fail-safe that I think makes it work a little bit better. But ultimately, Unstoppable is one of those games I'm like, expand the ever-loving hell out of it. Please give me every single card, John D, you can think of. Give me every single boss, every single hero. I will buy every single one of it.
Yeah.
Just bought the expansion recently. Haven't had a chance to try, but very excited to.
There's a new standalone set that you can, that'll be cross-compatible, everything coming out next year. So yeah, I hope that they just give
it's
us
so good.
more and more and more.
Yeah, if you like solo games, give it a shot.
Number 1 time, baby.
That's it, baby. What is it, Mikey?
This one is, for my money, far and away my favorite chip theory game. This is Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era.
Betrayal of the Second Era.
This is based on the Elder Scrolls video game series.
Yep, the whole universe, yeah.
And it's a cooperative game where you are going to be going around to the different regions of...
Tamriel.
There we go, Tamriel and stuff. You might be in Skyrim or Morrowind and stuff in different areas. And you're going to be kind of... How would you describe it? Like completing quests, or you're going on...
You're on a quest. You're on a guild quest, yeah.
You're going to be interacting with different guilds in the game that are going to have different... kind of give you different directions to go in on your journey. This really is kind of a game where like you as a party are going to kind of figure out how you are navigating the world, what kinds of things you're doing. A lot of times you're going to be fighting stuff because it is
most of the time
chip theory, dice rolling, good time of a game. But you're going to have different guilds and stuff. They're going to give you different focuses and stuff as you kind of go through 3 acts in a journey, ending in a climactic big boss battle. And stuff, and so it's an interesting thing where it's a campaign game in a way, but it's limited in scope.
Yeah,
because you're going to play these 3 sessions. We've done these big long streams where you play it all in one, but probably you'll play like over a weekend or a couple weeks, a couple of game nights and stuff, because each session is 2-3 hours. But once you're done with that, then everything's completely resettable. And there's all these different regions. Whatever guild you're in whatever region is going to massively change the directions you go. So you can kind of just keep playing over and over and over, because you're going to have a very different path each time. And the way you build out your characters as well is going to be something that you kind of continually do throughout the game. And that'll gain you new types of dice to roll, different types of abilities.
So much stuff.
Different races and things. And it's just really about that kind of experience of like building through this journey.
Yeah. I mean, it's unreal. So, I mean, we have actually played an entirety of a session of this game twice on this channel. We've done it. So if you want to watch like an 8-hour stream of us playing this game, it's very, very fun. I've actually played this game like 6 different times this year. I mean, it's really been a lot.
Which is no small feat, considering how
big the game is. It's so much fun.
It really is.
And like Mikey said, like you're building out your character, kind of like you do in Skyrim or Oblivion or whatever. It's like, oh, you're choosing a red guard, but you can then make you can train in anything you want. You can be a destruction person. You could be like 2-handed weapons. And it's the same here, where it's like you're getting these skill dice like bow or 2-handed or heavy armor or destruction or illusion or whatever. And you're getting these dice and you're kind of investing your XP into those things, getting more and more dice, So it's completely up to you how you build your character, and you end up building completely different characters where you're really, really good at these kinds of things, but not good at these things. So hopefully someone else can kind of complement you. You can be sneaky, you can do all this different kind of stuff. Every single guild quest is different, and on top of that, the guild quests are kind of like, hey, by this day, because you're playing days, by this day, you need to be at this point to do this fight. But in between there, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can go to different towns. You can go and
do fights, try to upgrade stuff, do whatever. It's up to you. So it's very generous in the sense where it's like, it's kind of like sandboxy with like waypoints, where it's like you have these points that you kind of need to get to. But other than that, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can build however you want. You can go wherever you want. You can buy whatever you want. All this different kind of stuff. It's just so good, and like, you get so awesome by the end of it. When you're in like the third session and all your skills are just like maxed out and you're just rolling all these freaking dice and stuff.
You just got
It's like, I honestly don't know if I've ever had more fun playing a board game than I do in like the third session of an Elder Scrolls campaign.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm having so much fun with this character that I've built, with all the stuff that I can do, the choices that you make. This is kind of like Mike's, I like Too Many Bones more than Mike does, but like you've kind of hit the nail on the head with what it is. Like, this is kind of what I wanted Too Many Bones to be.
Yeah.
Whereas, in one of the main things is it's like you have this cooldown track where at the beginning of every round of a fight, you're going to get a certain amount of dice back equal to your cooldown amount. And so when you roll your dice and you do your cool stuff, they go into your cooldown track. They're not gone, which is different than most Too Many Bones dice. Usually in Too Many Bones, when you do a roll, those dice are then gone. And so it can feel really bad when you whiff a big roll in Too Many Bones. And that's just part of the game. It says on the rulebook, like, it's part of the game, you're going to lose sometimes.
Yep.
In this case, though, they go to your cooldown tracks. You get to get them back. And so it just feels better, where sometimes you just miss. And
feels
then,
less punishing.
Yeah, and it's just choosing what to roll when and do these things. It's just infinitely playable. I want to get every single thing ever released for this game.
Same.
It's just...
We've had a chance to try some of the expansion content, and it's awesome.
And it's incredible. Like I said, I don't know if I've ever had more fun playing a board game than this game. It's like, it's not my favorite game of all time. I can probably say that. But it's like...
It's going to be up there, I feel
It's going to be really high up there, honestly, because it's just... I'm having so much fun when I'm playing it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's our list, everybody. So, again, the way we kind of came up with this was we each made a ranking of 20 games, which we'll talk about over on Patreon. And then whatever was 20th got, a couple points. Whatever our number one got a whole bunch more points. And from that, we sort of balanced out and made this list of games. But if you want to see, us talk about some games that obviously didn't appear on this list, or just figure out like where one of us sees one game versus the other one, over on Patreon, we'll talk about our top 20 games of the year. We both think this was a very good year for games.
As it always is,
we're very lucky to be in this era of gaming. I think right when we kind of got in was when it like really hit the golden
taking off,
era. This is our 8th top
10
of the year, man.
We're getting close to, we usually do like a 5 years back kind of list. We're getting close. We're almost about to do 10. So if you've been here for a while, or if you're new, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching our channel. We really appreciate it. We love our jobs. We love what we get to do. It's so fun to kind of do these end of the year lists where we're like, oh, went through another year of gaming and this wonderful, wonderful life and job that we get to live. So thank you so much. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and check out the Patreon and stuff. Love you to death. I think that's going to be it, eh?
That's going to be it, everyone. Take a look at the games you played this year. Put your picks for the best of the year in the comments below. And we'll see you all real soon.
Bye.